What about tube buffers? This interesting question comes from Michael in Mississauga, Ontario. That sucker's got a lot of S's. My question is about these inexpensive tube buffer preamps that are popular on eBay for around 30 bucks. Never seen anything for $30 with a vacuum tube in it. Maybe they're used or something. They look retro cool and they're supposed to sound good. But are they any good? Will they improve the sound any or all, or are they just a gimmick? Thanks in advance for the information you provide. Well, let's talk about first what is a tube buffer. The first one I remember, I think, was Cambridge, a company out of the UK. And it's basically a buffer. Now, a buffer is something that has high impedance on the input and low impedance on the output, traditionally. That's we buffer something from something else. You could take the output of a preamp and run it through a buffer and then drive cables or something else into a power amp. And this buffer would allow you to more easily drive a lower impedance load or cables or something of that nature. That's typically what a buffer, like for instance, when we design a circuit, I don't have anything right here in front of me. When we design a circuit, we'll have the gain stage of that circuit will be fairly high impedance. Maybe you've got 20K, 50K resistors on it, and especially if it's a vacuum tube, because vacuum tubes are fairly high impedance devices to begin with, and you need to be able to then take the output of that tube and run it through a buffer to lower the output impedance of the tube. So that's traditionally what a buffer is. But what they did is they said, you know, people love the sound of vacuum tubes. And so we have this solid state device over here. And when I listen to, let's call it a preamp. We have this preamp or we have this source and it's solid state and we play it and it sounds like it sounds. If we were to insert a vacuum tube with a gain of 1, so whatever goes in, same gain comes out, in between the piece we want to make sound better, it will add a vacuum tube sound to it, greater second order harmonics, all the things that vacuum tubes do. And they produced that, and I think they were fairly expensive. They were like $200 or $300 if I remember right, but they were effective. Not something I would necessarily recommend. I mean, we do that on a regular basis in a sense, like our power amplifiers, the BHK series, the more expensive ones, they have a vacuum tube on the input that has a vacuum tube sound to it, which is luscious and lovely, accurate and nice, but it's not in addition to something. It's not something we're adding in to color or modify the sound. So I'm not a big fan of these circuits that we insert into a clean signal path to sweeten it up, to add, it's kind of like adding, you got something that doesn't taste great, so you throw some sugar on it. Yeah, it's sweeter, but man, I don't know. I don't think that's, not for me. I just wouldn't do that. I would prefer to get the device to sound right in the first place. However, all that said, that's just me. And I'm a purist, right? I'm an audiophile purist. So if I had a system that I didn't really want to invest any money in and I just wanted to sweeten it up, or it was sounding a little harsh and I didn't want to change anything else, sure, get a tube buffer, throw it in there. It's not going to harm anything, and it just might make your system sound more musical. So give her a try. Let us know. Drop a line in the comment section of YouTube and let us know. All right, good luck with that, and thanks. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.